for you. I think you might be the first enlightened person or non-dual that they've heard talk. So it's hard for them to kind of know what they would want to ask you.
Yeah, well, we'll try to make a, yeah, so if that's the case, we'll just try to share how we see it, the idea of non-duality and everything.
Yeah, because they have a lot of questions around what exactly is that and how is that different from consciousness and awareness, right?
I'll be right back.
Yes. Well, again, it's awareness and consciousness is taken for granted. Non-duality is just a negation of some other activity going on. Yes? Which is the dualistic activity of us. Yeah, so it's non means not, and duality means two. Yeah, so that's what it is. It assumes as a fact that there's awareness.
Yes.
Now, instead of having that awareness be held as someone is aware, we're going to question the idea of someone's. Yeah, that's basically the idea. So non-duality is really a negation of duality. So yeah, well, just this, and again, this is just coming from here. It's not like someone else may have a different take on it. Yeah, this is just how I see it.
No, that's what we're here is to, you know, I've heard you speak before and you're one of the best speakers I've heard. And so I thought this would be great to get everyone to be able to ask you questions, hear what you're talking about. And, we just had a presentation this morning and there was a lot of questions circling about, I don't know if you're familiar with Rose's Jacob's Ladder, but the enlightenment part of it, right? And I'm still on the other side.
What non-duality does is kick out the base of Jacob's ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a ladder.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. So it's not, it may be seemingly diametrically opposed to other takes, but I have no opinions about the other things. Yeah. Because if you've ever heard the Course in Miracles, of us as
yes, I have that.
So we are spoken of as that which is dreaming. Yeah, the mind, the big M mind, and basically the big M mind can use whatever it wants in the dreaming to dream itself out of the dreaming. So if it's a ladder, great. If it's a fucking jet plane, great. If it's a phone book, great. Yeah. So this is just another idea that negates the premise of most spiritual ideas. That's all.
Well,
there you go. We're done. I hope you recorded that, and there you have it.
I know. We'll ask much more than that because we have you trapped for a little while, so we're lucky.
So yeah, we'll just take it out as you want to go.
Okay, I'm still admitting people right now.
Yeah, we'll wait till you're ready, and just let me know, and I'll sit here absently.
As soon as everyone's in, then what we'll do, and I guess I've had a lot of questions about whether you're recording it, and you are, so that's good.
Yeah, that will be Mike. Are you there still?
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be on where? Zen Bitch Slap or YouTube? Or?
Just YouTube, I guess, or do you want it as Zen Bitch Slap? If you want it as we'll go on Zen Bitch Slap automatically, actually.
Yeah, all right. So so after, if you're interested, it will be recorded, yeah? So that's good for these folks, so.
Okay, we still got people coming in, so I'm going to wait till they're, what do you think?
Yeah.
Give it another minute.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Pretty good.
It becomes loose. What happens? Yeah, it just gets pulled.
Okay. Well, I haven't had another one blink on in a couple minutes. So I'm really excited to have Paul Hedderman. So Paul Hedderman's in California, and he's a friend of Sean Nevins, who will be speaking at right after Paul. And that's how I met Paul. And he came, I went to one of his talks, and it was so good that I just thought, we really need to have Paul come speak, because Paul comes from a perspective that's very unique. He's a non-dual teacher, and he can, tell you a little bit about your background. But the thing that's most memorable to me is that you actually got run over twice by the same car.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure that
that's when I woke up. So everyone go out, lay down on a highway, and make sure one won't do it. You got to get run over twice, and it's got to be by the same car. That's our path. Go to it.
the part about him backing up to see
We also
what
sell insurance policies. We rent wheelchairs. Yes. That did it.
The part about him backing up to see what they hit and running over you again was just
I thought that was a little too much, but what the hell? You can't argue with learning.
No.
I guess I need to.
So what I wanted to do is introduce Paul to everyone. And I don't know, Paul, if Paul is a non-dual teacher. He's pretty well known in the California area. He speaks around the country. And he is has a website, as you know, in order to come on here. You saw it, the zenbitchlap.com, which is one of the more colorful ones that I think I've ever seen a non-dual teacher put up. So he kind of gets creds for that. But Paul has a unique perspective. And I feel like for all, for people with questions about non-dual.
Where'd she go? That's the talk right there. She disappeared.
Non-dual.
This is what happens if you have questions about non-dual.
That's right. David just took my computer away for a second because something happened, but we'll get it back. You know what happened? And then you're.
Yeah. Okay. You're back.
All right, here we are back again. So I think in the meantime, we let in a couple more people. So let's go ahead and roll with this. So Paul, if you want to start, I don't know if you want to start with Q&A or how you'd like to start, but if you would like to start and take it away, that would be great.
Okay, well, thanks, Paul. Welcome, everyone. Well, let's just give a simple definition of non-duality. And this is just where I'm seeing it from. Non obviously means not. Duality means two. So this is not affirming anything. It's negating an activity that usually, unbeknownst to us, is determining or interpreting life or how we see it. So this has nothing to do with all we are is this or all we are is that. Is to see what you're not, because what we are falls in the indescribable category, the unknowable category, the incomprehensible category. But what is the activity of duality in us is very easily seen and described and known and studied and understood. And by understanding this mental activity, you realize I may not be that which is being presented as me in the mental activities. Yeah. And what happens then? Find out, really. To me, it was a very disarming message. It wasn't another call to arms. It basically revealed to me that I am what I'm looking for. So, which is what's going to change? The I am? No, the looking for it, definitely. Yes, it's just that simple. Or the seeker, it's not the story of the seeker and the sought, it's the seeker is the sought. So it compresses time and space, and you are right now what you're looking for. This is basically the premise. One of the great, let's say, godfathers of non-duality is a master from India called Ramana Maharshi. And he said the greatest mystery, based on the fact being ourselves reality, is reality wanting to attain reality. That's the whole premise. So that's just a given. And then we turn on to the activities that which are expressed in a dualistic manner. And the root of that is subject objectness. So sometimes when we're sitting here, we're the thing that's being thought about, and sometimes we feel like we're the thinker. So it switches from object to subject to object. And this is what's negated. Yes, it's not the fact that that activity is going on, it's what that activity is used to imply, that there's a one. So the mental state's very fast in time. When it's brought into contact with things through us, it claims that contact, and let's say there's the five gates of senses: the seeing, the hearing, the feeling, the tasting, the touching. When the mental state comes to notice that, it claims the seeing to imply a seer. It claims the doing to imply a doer. It claims the feeling to imply a feeler. And so this is the bondage of self. So the feeling, the seeing, the thinking, the tasting, the touching, the doing, all of these activities are used to imply that there's a one that's either being done to by those activities or is doing the activities. This is the bondage of self, that sense of being a long-lasting, independent, separate thing. This is what non-duality negates. So you see what you're not from what you are, instead of looking for what you are from what you're not. And most people's position right now in the lens of non-duality is looking for what they are from what they're not. So the correction doesn't really change anything. It just corrects a misunderstanding, which is that which you take to be you is not you. And that which is thinking it has to find a bigger, better you is not you. So instead of finding a bigger, better you, you see that desire or that urge to find a bigger, better you from what you are, and you lose interest in it. You lose interest in all those pursuits to become a bigger, better, a freaking thing, or a transcendent thing, or a authentic thing, because you already are authentic. You already are what you're looking for. Yeah. So this is the understanding of non-duality. Yep. Simple. Yeah. Mike, anyone? Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah, let's go with that.
yeah. So is Krista gonna Yes.
Let me use one example, all right? One simple example. For the people who've been here with us, just, yeah. The first video we ever made based on the recognition of this message was the sheep and the lion. Yeah. So there's a story about a lion, a mother lion, and a cub, yes? And they're walking around the savannah doing what lions do. And then the mother lion gets killed. And now the cub, the younger lion, is orphaned. The younger lion really doesn't know what's going on, so it's roaming around and it sees a herd of sheep. And it starts moving towards the herd of sheep. Now the sheep knows it's a lion, so they get a little anxious. But then they quickly realize the lion doesn't know it's a lion. And the lion moves into the herd and starts hanging out with the sheep. And the lion's trying to, learn how to chew cud, and it's listening to sheep, worried about who's going to be the sweater next season, and just not feeling that right about it, but it doesn't know any better. So it now seemingly is a sheep, and it's living in that sheep world, and it's looking at sheep, really wanting to eat them, but it gets translated into, maybe I can marry that other sheep. And it does. It marries a female sheep. They have kids. They look a little strange, but they get rationalized. Yes? And then suddenly one day they're just chewing the cud, and a big old lion comes over the hill and starts chasing the whole herd. Now the old lion sees the young lion running away, and he wonders what the hell's going on. And he thinks, so he veers off and he tackles the young lion. The young lion rolls over on its back and looks at the old lion, goes, "Please, Mr. Lion, don't eat me. I'm just a humble sheep." Now the old lion is sort of perplexed by that. It just drags the young lion over to the water hole, sticks both their heads over. The young lion sees the reflection and wakes up. Yes? It sees that it's a lion. The old lion looks at it, goes raw. The young lion doesn't have to sign up for a 3-month class of roaring lessons. It roars, yeah, because it's now accessed that unsuspecting inner fact, which is it's a lion, yeah. So basically, you would think that would be it. Correction made. Even though it didn't matter if it lived as a sheep for 40 years or 10 years, it takes the same amount of time to correct what hasn't even happened. Yes? It doesn't take any time at all to rehabilitate a lion that thought it was a sheep for 40 years. It's like that. It's a lion. Yeah? The fact that it's a lion has not changed, no matter how many years it lived as a sheep, thought it was a sheep, acted like it was a sheep. It ain't a sheep. The fact is, it's a lion. So it gets whacked. Yeah. Now, this is what I learned. If the parable stops there, something happens. The old lion splits, and the young lion starts walking away from the water hole, and the sheep programming kicks in, and now suddenly it feels like a sheep again. And now the whole story of the awakening of its own nature is now cast as an experience the sheep had. And now that the sheep is seemingly back, it's lost that experience, and now it starts seeking that experience. It wants to become a lion as a sheep, all the while being a lion. Yeah. So now it starts thinking, what the hell? And it runs into other sheep in the same situation, and they get together and they find a book of lion pictures, and they cut it out and they put it in very nice frames, and they get together on Saturday and they have, roaring lessons. They all sound like they're barring, but they're going, "Oh yeah, you're getting better, Arnold," and shit. And now they're in the pursuit of becoming a lion. Now in their little society, they're all patting each other on their backs because, yeah, you're doing great. You're almost becoming a lion. Yeah. The fact is, you're a lion. This is the message of non-duality. Yeah. That's it. Agree or not, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't move. Its premise is being ourselves reality. That's it. Not as you're appearing. Yes? You're appearing as something that's not so. if from there what you are seems like a future goal that you're going to arrive at, when you see you're not that, you're here now. Yes, you lose interest in a lot of stuff. I swear, if you took me to a spiritual doctor and they took some blood, my blood would show 0.00 evidence of any spirituality in me. I've lost complete interest in spirituality. Yeah. Because I saw something and I'm seeing from there now. It's not I saw something and I've been seeking it. I saw something and then that I that claimed to be the seer of it was seen. I saw the thief. Yes. So the point of the message is a lot of us have free samples of being a lion, but they don't seem to stick in time and space. Yeah. So we've got to see the sheep programming. If you don't see the sheep programming, you're going to be looking from the sheep program. And this is the message of non-duality in my view. Yeah. We can use another way of explaining it. Let's say there's this huge, incredible camera. It's got 360-degree, panoramic view, super HD. It's incredible, yes? It's walking around. It has even a mobile tripod. Yeah, it's walking around and it sees a little brownie camera. Remember those cameras you'd buy when you traveled? It was a cardboard box with a little lens. You don't even have like one roll of film. You bring it to the pharmacist. You get it. You throw the thing away. Yes. And when you took a picture, you couldn't see shit, really. It was just pointing. Hopefully you're catching something, because the plastic lens was like a Coke bottle. You couldn't really see much. Yeah. So here's this incredible big HD camera, and it sees the little camera, and it decides to look through it. But while it looks through it, there's a seeming forgetting that it's the big camera. And now it believes it's what it's looking through, the small camera. Yeah. And it starts feeling irritable, restless, and discontent. And it's got this itch it doesn't seem to scratch, because no matter where it goes, it's going to go as the small camera. It's in the act of being identified as the small camera, and that has severely limited its possibilities. Yes. So what does it do? It says, all right, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to save up $1,000 and buy a Nikon lens. I'm going to put this incredible Nikon lens on the plastic lens. Guess what? You're seeing through the plastic lens first. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you put a $10,000 lens on. It's not going to change the pictures the freaking little camera makes. Yes? So what happens? It keeps trying to fix the brownie camera, the cheap camera. Some guy sees this whole event and talks not to the small camera, but to the big camera, and says to the big camera, hey, why are you looking through that small camera? Suddenly, the big camera gets the message. Yes? It doesn't hear it as the cardboard box. It hears it as the big camera, and it just pulls away from the small camera. It doesn't have to kill it. There's no operational damage to it when it moves away, because it wasn't, nor will it ever be, the small camera. It just took itself to be the small camera. I would say this is what happens with us. Simple as that. Yeah. So now it's such a point, the big camera is sought by the big camera through the identification as the small camera. Yes? So what you are is being used to look for what you are. It's insane. It's completely insane, really. Yeah. So this is the premise of it. And for me, the whole movement of it is a disinterest or loss of interest. Yeah. So I've lost interest in the need to be liberated, because I saw I was not that which needs to be liberated. It's just that simple. I've lost interest in transcending, because I realize you can't transcend an imaginary place. Yeah. We're having a subjective dreaming right now, and we think we want to get out of it as that which is being dreamt, us, and you can't get out of an imaginary place. Yeah. And you can't get into what you've never been out of, and you can't get out of what you've never been in. It's just that simple. So I don't care how long we believe we've been the sheep, it doesn't take a requisite amount of time to unconvince you. It's a very quick recognition. You're not the sheep from the lion. Yeah. It's not like it's not a long drawn out affair. There's a whack. You see what you're not, and then there's a loss of interest in what you're not. So the thoughts are seen as thoughts, not as yours all day. Yes. So you're not living a life based on my thoughts, because my thought can ruin your day. A thought doesn't have the ability to ruin your day. When it's held as yours, it can ruin your day. Yeah? What's giving it the meaning? The thought or us? Us. Yeah? We are reality. We are. We can make mountains out of molehills, and we do. Yeah? Supposedly Jesus brought someone back from the dead, Lazarus, but at least he was alive once. We're making shit out of nothing all day. The head is unbelievable. Most people are completely occupied by what's not happening. They're trying to get out of next week on Saturday. It's insane. So this is just the correction. It's sort of like seeing the horse in front of the cart. Yeah. And even though it seemed like for years the cart was in front of the horse, it never has been. It's always been the horse in front of the cart. It was just appearing to be the cart in front of the horse. So the correction is immediate in a sense. And basically, let's say if we feel we have a problem, then there's needs for a solution. But this solution tells you there is no problem, tell you the truth. There are problems, but there is no problem. Yeah? You are not the one who has problems. You are not the one that does everything. You are not the one that thinks everything. Yes? There's a relief there, an incredible relief. And then see if you want to go to the stars. I bet you if you were satisfied and content, you'd lose a lot of interest in a lot of these transcendent pursuits. Seriously. So, yeah, there you go. You don't want to beat a dead horse. This is an invitation. Yeah, this is not a seminar. I do not want to convince you. You are the obstacle the message is trying to get around. We don't want you to understand this. You can only understand it from the failed system. You can. So when people used to tell my friends, everything this guy says goes way over my head, I said, well, that's where I'm aiming. I'm not aiming to convince you of anything. I've realized that's pointless. What I want to do is get through you to everywhere. I can't miss everywhere. I want to miss you. That's the whole point. I don't want you to catch it. Oh, I got it. No, you don't. You don't get this message. You don't. This message says it's already so. There's no getting it. Yeah, there's none. And the beautiful thing is, because you can't get it, you can't lose it, which is incredible. Yeah, this whole idea of I'm going to achieve the greatest heights presupposes that you can fall pretty damn far. Yeah, or the idea of we're going to sit in presence for 5 minutes, 3 times a day. So basically the head takes that to mean I'm out of presence 23 hours and 45 minutes every day. I want to see where you're out of presence and how you enter into presence. And then when you back out of presence and then you enter out of presence, there's no in or out. You're presence. You're it. Wait a minute. My Geiger counter. I'm getting close to presence. Let me get ready. Put on the nice clothes, get the loving gaze ready. All right, I'm entering presence, only for 5 minutes. Uh-oh, the phone rang. I'm back. I'm out of presence. Give me a break. That's the freaking crazy head playing God. It's telling you how close. It's like that game we used to play with a kid when they'd hide something and they'd go, "You're getting warmer. You're getting colder." This is like a sadistic fucking adult. You're getting warmer. Ha 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 ha. You're getting colder. You're it. Yeah. You are reality. There you go. That's the message. Yeah. If you feel like you need to do something, you better do it. Yeah. Hopefully, everything you try is going to fail you, and that's its true success. When all of your things you've been trying to do fail you, you're going to finally be left with your own devices, and you'll see they're not your devices. Yes? You are not intellect. You are not understanding. You are not an action figure. Yeah? Yeah. So I hope for a quick failure, tell you the truth. Yeah. And go on a strict diet of nothing, because you're choking on all the somethings. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the message in a way. Other people have different takes. I don't know. I don't see them, but I mean, yeah, but if you just take the basic fundamental definition of non, it's not, and two is duality, yes? So instead of thinking, what's the vast expression of duality, shrink it to right where you are. Sometimes you feel like that which is being thought about, which means you're an object. And then sometimes you feel like you're the thinker. That's a subject. Yes? That's duality. That's what's being negated. Yeah. Yes. So it may be a short session. You never know.
I have a question. Can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
and also, Krista, are you checking online for hands too? Oops, you're muted. I can't hear you.
We can't
I'm
hear you.
unmute- Yeah, I'm unmuting people when their hands come up.
All right,
Okay.
good. All right.
She asked me to unmute myself.
Wow, that was
Kathleen.
good.
So here
Wow,
I
that
am. Oh,
Kathleen, take your heads off. Take the things, yeah, because you sounded like a denizen of the deep there. We're not entering the horror movie phase. All right.
Your hand was up, Kathleen, so I didn't know if you had a question. Oh, you probably don't know your hand is up.
Maybe use Bill's, because yours is sounding weird.
Yeah, it sounds strange.
So in the meantime, while she's getting that straight, Harmony, did you want to ask a question?
Yes. So let me ask you this. So like I practice a lot of what you say and have for a long time, but my, I guess, challenge would be, how do you navigate that as a human being when there is duality that exists outside of you?
Oh, you find out you will. There's no rote formula. You're here, and then there's going to be a response when there's activity, for sure. Yeah, you're in action. This is an action figure. It's going to act. Yeah. But I feel as an action figure, it's best to be directed, not to be the director. So if you want to call it, if you know the Course in Miracles, they describe the Holy Spirit as something that will take the same information that your brain is taking in and collate it differently. Yeah. So you can be directed by an old employer or a new employer, but you're going to be used somehow as an action figure. Yes? Yeah. So if you want to call it, directed by the spirit or directed by the head, in AA, we talk about, faith in the infinite rather than finite self. It's just that. It's that way. Yes? So now you start having intuitive thoughts or energetic senses, and you have you've recognized things have worked. The action figure itself, you're way somewhere else in a sense. You're more contextual, yeah. But the experience, the point of experience, is at the action figure, yeah. That action figure is best to be directed, not being the director.
And then
Yes.
aren't we the projector that creates the director?
I don't know. I don't think when there's just projecting. I don't think there's a projector. I don't think there's a thing or a noun or a doer. I don't. A divine doer, I don't see it. I just see there's verbing going on. And I would say the best description of the event here is dreaming. Yes. So, yeah. Everything is empty of meaning and we're dreaming. And there's a lot of meaning being given to everything. Yes. Usually directed by what's running the action figure. If the head's running the action figure, your facility may be used to manufacture misery. If something else is running the factory, you may be, manufacturing empathy and the ability to enjoy peace of mind and stuff. It's not the factory. The factory can produce or manufacture tons of stuff. It's what runs the factory. Yes. If you lose interest in self, the default mechanism is the infinite is going to run you, which it always is anyway. But now there'll be a sense of intimate acknowledgement of it as the action figure. The action figure will travel lighter, yeah, through this experiential event. What more does the action figure want, really? Yes. So, when in Rome, you do as the Romans do, but you're not of Rome. As Jesus says, you're in this world, but you're not of this world. Yes? So, yeah, I would say the action figure is the experience of being in this world. We are not from the action figure. We are of something, or of nothing, really. Let's call it that. Yeah? Yeah. It doesn't negate the meaning of the effects of the action figure. It changes how those are interpreted, really. Yeah. So the action figure travels lighter, and on a base level, there's a knowing that it's not doing that. Yes. So there's a sense of intimacy with what can't be seen or heard or felt. Yeah. And it becomes the guiding light for the action figure. Yeah. Yeah. This figure, Paul, the experience, went through deep addiction, yeah, and then I got struck sober 34 years ago, and it was obvious something did for me what I couldn't do for myself, or my mother couldn't do for me, or the state couldn't do to me, was get sober, and something did, and that radioisotope of urge to escape was removed, and I've never had a strong thought or feeling about alcohol or drugs. That's a pretty incredible demonstration of something doing through this what this could not do on its own. Yeah. So the action figure I would see more as an effect than a cause. Yeah. Yes.
I have a question.
I like these echoes. Yeah. That sounded like God itself. I have a question. All right. All right, God.
No, you're gonna go.
I'm ready to be smoted. Smote me.
You am I audible?
Yes.
I've got so it seems like the crux of the issue is that somehow you have to bridge the gap from duality into non-duality, and the non-duality isn't something that you can have or understand or get to, and yet there are some people who have the realization and others that don't. And so is it something that people do, or some quality of who they are that brings them to non-duality? Or is it not something that you can, is there not anything that you can do to push yourself into the realization?
Well, it can appear to be both, but in a sense, I don't believe it's either, really. But here it can appear to be both, yes. But I feel it's just a fact no matter what. If that fact doesn't appear here, it doesn't mean it's not a fact. Yeah. So, and I don't believe people are awake. I believe awakeness may be expressing through a person, but I don't believe that person is the owner of awakeness. No. That's why you can hear some incredibly great shit, and then 20 years later, the person's totally flipped out. They've got helipads as shoulders and walking with platform flip-flops, It's just, what the hell happened? Well, something was coming through them, and now something else is coming through them. Yeah. Some people were anointed of being enlightened, and now they have dementia. They're drooling, and they put their pants on the wrong way. You can't pin the message on the messenger. It's the messenger is secondary to the message. Yeah. It's nice to have your ears open, because you can hear great wisdom from a lot of places you wouldn't expect it, because we're all being used. Yeah. Yes. Some people, maybe they have it's like musical chairs. Maybe the music stops and they find themselves in a chair. And then every time the music stops, they find themselves in the same chair. That's still not their chair. Yeah. Yeah. So I feel it's an inherent condition, just like if you were dreaming last night, if you had a dream last night, and maybe it was about taking a 5-second gulp of a Slurpee, yeah? And then the night before you had a 300-year epic and I love the idea of reincarnation, because it's based on a fallacy incarnation. I don't believe anyone's incarnated and now they're reincarnating. But let's say you had a 300-year dream. How long would it take to wake up for both? Because the awakeness has nothing to do with time. Time has no influence there. Yeah? None. Yet here it seems to be very influential. So we're trying to see things clearly, being moved in like a dry river. Yeah. You have to recognize there's no clarity on to a certain point in that dry river. Yeah. That's what there's an admittance of. I'm not going to get it. I don't understand it. I don't know what the hell's going on. I can only present what's been revealed. Yeah. And this has a very defined ceiling. Yeah. We're not chariots of the god. Yeah. We're not going to be up at that golf course in heaven playing. It's just it's like one long breath of 80 years, and then it's going to be like it never happened. Does it feel like yesterday happened? In most cases, no. That's probably one of the most authentic feelings. It seems like nothing ever happened. It just keeps on rolling, doesn't it? Yeah. So how could that be going on if something else is going on? Well, if something else that's going on is contextual, and the other thing we're talking about is content, it's fantastic. There's a lot going on. All the while, there's nothing going on. Yeah. Now, what would bring a lightness to there's a lot going on would be probably a sense that there's nothing going on. Yeah. So the relief in in the in is from the of, yeah? It's from what we're of that brings the relief to what we're in, yeah? I feel, yeah. That's the beauty of this message. And it's the gift that keeps on giving because you're it, really. Underneath it all the shenanigans, it's like the sky. The sky doesn't have a breaking point where if there's this many clouds, it turns into a cloud. No, it's always sky, no matter how many or how little clouds there are. Yes? No clouds. All right, we're going to pack 8,000 clouds in the sky. That's going to turn it. No, the sky isn't affected by everything that's appearing in it. Yes? Yet is quite influential and is the basis of the possibility of those appearances. Yeah. Yet those appearances do not affect the sky. I would say that's like us. Yeah. The us before you and me. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
Yes,
how
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hey, Paul,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Great, thank you. I just was reading something this morning and I wondered if maybe I could share a little bit with you. It's from Who Cares by Ramesh Balsekar.
Yeah.
So the title of the chapter is Ego. That's not why I'm reading it to you. The question for Ramesh was, what is the bondage? And his answer was, the bondage is I, separate person with free will and responsible for my actions, and therefore I must do good things. What is the bondage? The ego is the bondage. Who is happy or who is unhappy? The ego, the sense of doership. The body can't be happy or unhappy. So the one who is happy or unhappy is the ego. And what is liberation? Liberation is the freedom from the alternating sense of happiness and unhappiness. And here's the sentence that I underlined and stopped reading after. It says, liberation is the total, final understanding in the heart that there is no doer, no experiencer. I just wanted to read it because you just said all that in your talk today. And I thought, oh, look, I'm hearing it again. And it's very impactful and powerful for me. And I appreciate you very much.
So great. So let's say, and he used the word final. So in time, yeah, the liberation from this idea of being the doer is the final liberation. But in fact, in timelessness, there's never been a doer. So the final liberation is readily available at all times. Yes?
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there never was a doer.
So cool.
So the doing can continue and the head can keep claiming to be the doer. It doesn't change the fact that there is no doer. This idea of giving so much importance to a mental activity that it can block us off from the spirit or as the spirit is insane. Yeah. It's an incredible meaning being given to an ethereal activity that it can block us off from the sun and stuff. Yes?
Yes.
So basically, the final liberation is readily available now. Yeah, because the final liberation was how looking at it through the lens of time, and you can see it from the lens of timelessness, meaning it's already available right now, right where you are, with no requirement necessary. Yes, it's the same. Mm-hmm. One's looking at it through a lens of time. So that means everything I did led me up to this moment of liberation. And then when you arrive, it tells you on having never left. So it just erased your whole story about how you arrived at liberation. Because when you arrive at liberation, it tells you on having never left. You never left liberation. That's the only way you arrive at it. Because all the ideas that you were somewhere else and you were someone else isn't true. So all of that stuff of a huge, crusade or pilgrimage to arrive, when you arrive, it tells you on having never left. You never left. I had it with this thing I've shared with you, this thing I did in Australia where it was like a big therapeutic retreat. I didn't know anybody there, but I got into it. And they could induce a cathartic event. And so they were every day. And people were going Kundalini, everything. And then this one, it came on me and I started crying. And I just kept like chanting, I can never get back. I can never get back. Like I split from the Godhead or something, some terrible original sin. I can never get back. And then about a week later, after that big hoo-ha, brouhaha about that, I realized why I could never get back, because I never left. Well, there goes my blog posts. There goes, you see? There's a lot of quote unquote value in the story if it's drawn out in time. Yes?
Mhm.
If I wrote a blog post about non-duality, I'd lose interest before I put out the blog post. It would never get off the ground, which is sort of what happened with Zen Bitch Slap. It's very difficult to get anything together. We don't have people going over every retreat everywhere trying to get, hey, invite Paul Hedderman. People call me, or they don't. I could care less about, I really want to speak at that thing. No, that never comes in here. Unless there's good food and it's in like a paradise location, definitely. If there's perks, I'm going. So
Scott has a question for you.
all right, great.
Hi there. So much of what you say resonates with me, and I've been thinking recently, like there's so much seduction in the story, right? As you're describing, whereas when you get to this place that you're describing, you never left, but then you realize that was a waste of time, like almost all of that, the story part of it. So I completely understand with what you're saying. My question is, what does hold your interest now?
Yankees, the New York Yankees.
Okay. Okay.
They hold my interest.
Yeah.
A lot of things that come into the orbit hold my interest. The dog, the cat, yes, my girlfriend, hummingbirds, wind through the trees, sound of the chimes. A lot of things hold my interest. Yeah.
So that being in that state of eternal presence, you could say, right? Not 23 hours and 45 minutes of, but not present, but you're just in that
Let me
state of
say one
being.
thing. One thing. Nothing has been a waste of time. Nothing really. See, everything, because it's us, there's value no matter what. Yeah. We are what we're looking for. We are reality. So that it's inherently value there. Yeah. So I don't see as anything was wasting time. I really don't. I think there's a very soothing thing that's said in the Course in Miracles. If you've heard that book, about that book, it says, it puts out a presentation that this is an event of dreaming. Yes, it's just like the night dream, but in this dream we don't have a morning. See, in the awake dream, there's no morning to be able to see the night dream from a different position. The awake dream
Right.
just continues, yeah, but it's
Continues.
just like dreaming, yes, yeah. So, so the course would really go into that, and it says at this one point, you and I are the dreaming of the dreaming, yeah, and we're gonna dream ourselves out of it. Yeah. So in other words, we're going to use things like this to dream ourselves out of the dream. So we're going to use the material of the dream to, which is giving it value, to dream oneself out of the dream. Not oneself, but the dream out of the dream. And as we do, the dream's going to get happier. Yeah. You're going to travel lighter. I don't mean happier with the Hallmark Hall of Fame idea of happier. I mean more content and satisfied. Yes. And
Right.
so the dream is impermanent, but we are. So the dreaming there'll be a coming out of the dreaming, but there won't be any dreamt to remember it. Yeah. So it'll be like it never happened, I'd imagine. It's like, have you ever passed away and been brought back? I've overdosed a number of times and been brought back. And the one thing I came back with was, this has nothing to do with that, in a sense, except that it's appearing in it. It didn't seem, they're like two different beasts, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't, I don't know how I'm doing, really. I don't really look into it that much.
Mhm.
That's the thing. I've lost interest in Paul, to
Okay.
tell you the truth. And Paul does much better with less interest, I swear. Yeah, you can't lose interest in Paul as Paul. See, this is one of the fundamental traps. You set out on a course to lose interest in Paul, that's interest in Paul. Yeah, this is the trick. This is what happens, a lot of people in spirituality don't see, which is a great statement by Ramana Maharshi, which is there's a presupposing which has time in it, right? In other words, you're assuming something, there's an assuming of something now, but it's presup. So it says it's been an assumption that's been here for a while. Yeah. So there's a presupposing of a non-existent thing, the body. Yeah. So the mental state has the body as the one who's awake or conscious. Yes. Which it isn't. It's a non-existent thing. Yeah. There's something moves through it. Yeah. So the trumpet has never played a note. It facilitates a note being played. Yeah. Some wind has to come through that trumpet. The trumpet cannot play a note, but it can facilitate. So here we are. So this thing's coming through us. Yeah. I just lost what I was going to go to, but forget about it. It was there. It just went somewhere. It went to another page. But hey, yeah, so this whole thing moving through us, yeah, is the seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. The mental state claims it and makes up a story that you're the seer, the hearer, the feeler, the taster, the toucher. And you can tell the difference between the weight of a thought and my thought, can't you? Yeah, that's the role. That's what we're bringing to the event. Yeah. We're giving it all the meaning it has. It's an incredible role we play. We are the dreaming. We're not in a dream. We're not being affected by something else's dream. We are the dreaming of this event. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know where I was going, but yeah, there you have it.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
David's hand is up. Can you hear me? Oh, and then Leanne too.
David? Yes. I
Can you hear
can't
me
hear
now?
you. Oh, now I
Okay.
can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, I just want to say thank you, for the ongoing talks. I always enjoy being here with everybody. I did just want to ask for like a quick clarification because I don't like to assume incorrectly, but when you talk about the non-existent thing and you mention the body, so I mean, I guess you could say from an absolute perspective, the body might not be existent, but it's more of an appearance. But you're not really saying the body is the non-existent thing, right? It's the assumption that the body is the thing that's conscious. So it's the
Yes.
body
The
identification.
non-existent thing is assumed to be the existing thing.
So
Yes. So
it's
basically,
the body is the thing that's conscious.
yeah. So the body isn't. The body is sort of like the trumpet. It can play notes, but it can't play notes. Something has to move through it.
Sure.
Yeah. So that would be the existence, let's say. So the non-existent thing is a conveyor of an existence. The head has those two things mixed up, and it believes that which is seeing is a seer, this body, which the
Mhm.
body is not seeing.
So that's when you say the horse in front of the cart is, in
Well,
a way.
yeah, because what it sets off is, that's where we were going. There's this presupposing of a non-existent thing. What's the presupposing? That it's an existing thing. Yeah. And then wanting to get salvation for itself. So this is what he's saying. We're walking around taking the existence as a thing
Mhm.
and then wanting to get salvation for the thing.
Right.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
says if that's the case, which obviously the emphasis Ramana put on it is that is the case in most cases, your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? That's a very good point to stop and let it land, so to speak. Yeah, because you
Absolutely.
may fall under that category.
Yeah.
I did when I heard it. I did. My hand went up. Yep. Yeah. I was. And then there's again another way of saying it is how a great Zen master says it is whatever can be perceived, which would be the thing. Yes, cannot be that which is perceiving.
Sure.
The same way, the non-existent thing is not what's perceiving. It's like the camera, but it's the light that allows the picture. Yes, the camera doesn't do shit if it's sitting there. Yeah.
Sure.
So this is the same idea. So if you hear the statement, whatever can be perceived cannot be perceiving, and then go to your head and just listen for a minute or two, your head's narrative is completely based on the opposite. It's based on that which can be perceived is what's perceiving. So I am the seeing as a seer. No, that's not true. They're seeing, yeah, and the seer is not essential at all. But for the seer, there is no seer without seeing, but there's a lot of seeing without a seer. Yeah. See, what happens is most of us don't start at the seeing, we start at the seer. Yeah. We start at the doer. We start at the feeler. Is the cart being put in front of the horse. So basically, you're entered a bizarro world. You're trying to get into something you can't be out of, and you're trying to get out of something you can't be in. It's a simple correction. The problem is you don't want that which is seemingly the problem to grab to the message and say, I'm the hearer of the message, because that doesn't exhibit any hearing of all at all. If you hear the message as the hearer of it, you've missed the message. Yeah, which is valuable to recognize you can't get it.
Doesn't mean you won't keep trying.
Well, it does sooner or later.
Sooner or later,
I think the system collapses. It does. It can't withstand it.
under the weight. Yeah. reality. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a simple statement. What I feel it's being said is if there's an identification as the thing as being that which is conscious and existence, your spiritual practices are going to constantly reinforce that thing.
Sure.
And how can they destroy it? So what you're trying to get out of is being reinforced by your attempt to get out of it, because you're identified as that which you want to get out of. So that which you want to get out of is trying to get out of itself. Yeah.
Right.
Self
Yeah.
can't get out of self. This is just a simple invitation. See where it falls, where it lands. Yeah. And if it doesn't land today, come back. And you probably will, because it's factual. If the truth is, there is no long lasting, independent, separate entity. There is an appearance that there is a long lasting, independent, separate entity that needs tons of reinforcement to keep appearing to be that. Because there's a lot of free samples to a person's day that reveals the opposite. Yeah. That reveals that you are what you're looking for. It does. The only problem is that free sample gets taken by the product, the problem, and gets fucking adapted to its story. So now I woke up.
Yeah. Use it
I
some kind of.
woke up. Well, this is it, really. Let's say in a very innocent way, one Saturday you were in Walmart and you were looking for some appliances, and you were walking through the appliance aisle, and a toaster fell off the third shelf and hit you in the head and woke you up into fucking common sense. Let's say it just woke you up. Now you share this to people, and they're going to go to fucking Walmart, and they're going to try to hang around the appliance aisle with the hopes that a toaster, and they'll even contrive a friend pushing a toaster off to hit them in the head, trying to reproduce something that was never produced. Your awakening didn't come about because you got hit by the toaster. That's the story. Yeah, the awakeness came about. That's all. Nothing's dictating awakeness how it has to happen. It can do whatever it freaking wants. It's acting like it's not awake now. It's incredible. For 60, 70 years, it acts like it's not awake. It takes a lot of work. The mental state is on overdrive, but it does. Yeah. And then it may be wishing to become awake all the while being awakeness. It's crazy, yeah?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. Sometimes I hear you say, when you say, and I pretty much thought I knew what you were saying, but I just didn't want to make that assumption. But when you say the body is a non-existent thing, the not really something I believed in, but the mental defense gets triggered. Well, wait, the body is a existent thing, even if it's just a temporary appearance. But it's the identification with the body as what I am.
Well, the thing is, the existence is what animates the body. The body isn't self-animating.
Sure. Yeah.
So basically, the body has a potential, seemingly, to have a nerve affected, and then the brain, all the sensations are happening in the brain. Yes, remember if someone's arm gets cut off and they have phantom arm pains, the brain doesn't need the arm. The body is an image that the brain is engaged with. Yes, there's an imagery that's constantly being, and then so if a part of your arm gets lost, but it's holding the same image before. It has nothing to do with the flesh and the blood.
Yeah, for sure. On that phantom arm thing, sometimes the people who have that, I guess, they can do a therapy where they put a mirror or use a series of mirrors in front of the arm that's not there anymore, and it can trick the brain, and they can retrain it to lose the sensation gradually.
Exactly, to trick the brain. So if it's that easy, don't you think the brain's pretty tricked already?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. If the brain can perceive shit that's not there, you don't think it's doing that now?
Certainly.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you bought something with a program already in it. You're not programming it. It's already been programmed. Part of the program is your belief or feeling that you're programming it. Every intimate feeling sometimes you think you have has been programmed. It's programmed. It's coming up. Yeah. You just see it. We are awareness, as some people have said, not as Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's just keep it. I have no idea what awareness is. I don't. I have no idea of any of that. I just know what I'm not. I know the mental activity. Yeah. I can see it. I've seen it and I continue to see it. Yeah. So I can't, even though the seeing it, I'm still sort of in the audience. The play continues, the stage is always being noticed, but there's an unseen audience that's the dominant theme now. Yes? The play used to be the whole thing. The play has been shrunk, and now there's a lot of space around it. So I get to see the play from a lot of space, where before you thought I was trying to see the play from the play. It doesn't work well. Usually, when you see the play from the play, you're excluded. You're feeling like you're a special character in the play. This way, this is what happens, if we have the second or two. Before, realizations, yeah, like this. I'm here as the aperture is opening up. Wow, 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 yes? All the while, very healthily, I'm the one having all the realizations. Never gets touched. This is what happens with non-duality feeling. It goes like this. Yeah? Yes? You're seen. You're seen. This which is saying it's having all these realizations, you see it. You see it from back there. Yeah? Yeah. This is never can never get back there. Never. It's always going to be on this side of the camera. It's never going to do a giant frog leap into being behind the camera. It's of appearance, and therefore it's defined as an appearance, which means it's not real. Yes? What's looking is real. You come to sense this by seeing you're not that. If you keep try to get a sense of that by looking for it from this, you're going to be doing it forever. And it's fun, I guess. I mean, swear. You know what I used to really think was the greatest seed assignment as an action figure? A rich seeker. Who had the money, didn't have to work. They could they could kiss every fucking foot of any master on 7 continents. I knew a couple of them. They would just globetrot and feel great all the time. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I knew a couple as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is yeah. You get it though in a way.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it. That's the news. Because a lot of us are truly, without knowing it, on a giant holding pattern. We're just trying to fulfill some requirements with this idea that something's going to happen. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes. This is like, yeah.
Yep. I appreciate that. I mean,
well, I think we need to end soon because I got to go to another a live meeting soon.
Awesome.
A live
with the important folks. You're going to be doing the Zoom from that live meeting too, right?
Yes, we're going to do it at 1. We can do a little more, but I gotta eat something first and then go.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate the.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
Hey, if you have one more, and then we'll go. I gotta take off.
Yeah, maybe what we'll do is Leanne has her hand up. We'll get her question. And then Sean is talking next at 3 o'clock Eastern, which would be noon Pacific. In case anyone would be interested, I'll post the link for his talk if you would like.
Yeah, because I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I gotta eat.
It'll
some
be a
food.
different Zoom that they'll need to jump onto.
You
Yes.
mean in chat? You're gonna put it in chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in chat if you all would like.
Yeah, I like Sean.
Yeah. Okay. Then, Leanne, why don't you ask your question and I'll do that while you're doing that.
Okay. So Paul, you said we are the dreaming. Can you just elaborate on that a little more? I know we're not the feeler, the seer, etc. How are we the dreaming?
It's not how that we are the dreaming. I mean, is meaning being given from where you seem to be to other things?
Yeah.
Is a tree giving you a meaning? Is it telling you about itself?
No.
Yeah, there you go.
So we have no power over when we stop dreaming. It's like you're calling it mental activity. Is that another way to say it?
No, mental activity is part of the dreaming,
Right.
not the dreaming. No.
So you're saying we can't awake from the dream whenever we want. We just have to wait for grace or wait. That's what I'm resenting here.
The way we're speaking, it assumes that there's a person that's
Yeah.
lingering around in some kind of state that's going to. I'm not a believer of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't believe the vague assumption that there's an us that's going to be a different us or something. I just don't believe it. So I don't know what's going on, but I do not believe that's going on. Yeah. So I can see that meaning's being given in this event. I can see that the meaning that is given to things is conditioned by the condition that the action figure or the head thinks it's in. Just like that thing they read about Ramesh Balsekar. So if I'm feeling ill, things are bleaker. Yes?
Yeah.
So we're having a subjective event, aren't we?
Yeah.
Based on our condition, that would be a description of dreaming. Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
But I want to stop it now.
Well, just maybe you're not that wants to stop it. Hallelujah. No, seriously, that's it. Because see, that statement, I want to stop it, is implying a whole lot before it, which is there's a you there. Let's see that it's not you, and then maybe you'll come to a different term with shit that you once wanted to stop. Maybe there'll be an okayness found in shit just going on the way it's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have fallen upon something, a working something, and then just see where it takes you. Just maybe always throw a little pause in there and put a suspicious look at, well, who is it that doesn't want this to be happening? Yeah. Yeah, because it may not be you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, the hunt goes much better when you don't have a dog in the hunt. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes. Yeah. You may enjoy it a lot more.
Yes, that's why I want to stop, but I'm not enjoying it very much.
Yes. Well, obviously, then you run into the frustration of not having any power. So it keeps going on and you don't want it to keep going on.
Right.
There's another something to admit. Yeah, I seem powerless over this condition. Hallelujah. Now it has a chance to change because you stopped trying to change it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's always, if you have a drive to take a step, just take a step back. Just see. Get into a habit of throwing an improvisational dance move because the head loves to take you its own little routine. If you can just maybe there's a pause, take a step back and see, maybe you're not that which wants to change everything. Maybe you'll have a better day today. Yeah.
But I'd still be in the dream, even seeing it from that perspective.
Well, if you haven't seen from that perspective, you don't know. So find out.
Okay.
Don't jump to a conclusion you haven't checked out.
Well, that was more of a question. Aren't I still in the dream if I'm seeing it from there now?
See, I don't see I'm in a dream. I see dreaming. I don't think there's a you in a dream. I don't.
Okay.
I think we're really the fountainhead of the dreaming. Right where we are right now is the fountainhead of dreaming. We're not like a participant in the dreaming. We're not like being imposed upon by the dreaming. We are the dreaming. Yeah. And so much more, but we are the dreaming. It's an activity. Yeah. That we're not apart from, so to speak. Yeah.
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 All right. Thank you.
That's how I see it today. I see everything as verbing. I don't see any nouns, to tell you the truth. I think the head puts nouns all over the place. Yeah. And
Yes.
then it sort of dissects and partitions like a mural with because the curator of the painting is addicted to nouns. So each one gets put into a simple frame and then you miss the whole fucking panoramic view.
Mhm.
It's like the old idea of missing the forest from the trees. Yes.
Mhm. All
Yeah.
right.
I believe, in a sense, looking through that small camera, it has a myopic view. We use the plastic lens to imply that, but if it wasn't obvious, self-centeredness is a myopic view. You see everything as how it pertains to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very myopic, and it's concave in a way. It goes like this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
boring too.
So the whole point is it's a failed system. Yeah. What we are is much more panoramic. Now, with the myopic view getting most of the attention, it completely excludes the panoramic.
Mhm.
But the panoramic includes the myopic. You can see the myopic from the panoramic. You
Okay.
cannot see the panoramic from the myopic.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there you go.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I gotta
Well,
stop.
we really appreciate it, Paul. We do want to give you time to eat. And I did post the link for Sean's talk starting at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific. I know you and Sean are friends. I appreciate very much you talking. Everyone really enjoyed it. Your perspective is a unique one, and I think it's really helpful for everyone to hear it. And I appreciate your willingness to jump on and give it with us.
Well, hey, thank you. Thank you for nothing.
You
I'll
let me know
see.
when you're on the East Coast.
Yes, stay in touch, honey. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. You all
Hey,
take care.
also for the people that are here from the website from us, we'll be on at 1 o'clock Pacific time also.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
Like,
realize that.
and
Okay.
then, we have a live meeting and a Zoom at 1 o'clock here in Northern California. 1 o'clock Pacific time. All right. Hey, thanks. Have
All
a
right.
great day. Take care.
Bye.